If you're sitting there right now, scrolling through your phone or laptop, dreaming about that fresh start in the UK, whether it's for a new job, to study at a top university, or to reunite with family, stop everything because what I'm about to tell you could shatter those plans in an instant if you don't act fast. Imagine pouring your heart, your savings, and months of preparation into a visa application only to get a cold rejection letter that sends you back to square one, broke and heartbroken. That's the brutal reality hitting thousands of applicants in 2026, thanks to a wave of sneaky, under-the-radar changes from the Home Office that are turning the UK visa process into a nightmare maze. You need to hear this right now before it's too late. I'm here on UK Visa Update, your go-to source for cutting through the red tape and arming you with the real, no-nonsense truth to get your visa across the finish line. Listen up, if you're watching this and you've got that application form open, or you're just starting to gather your documents, this isn't some minor tweak we're talking about. This is a full-blown overhaul that's catching people completely off guard, leading to delays that stretch into months, rejections that pile up like bad news, and costs that skyrocket without warning. The urgency here is real. Apply without knowing these updates, and you could be waiting in limbo while your job offer expires, your course starts without you, or your family remains separated by oceans. I've seen the messages flooding in from viewers just like you. I thought I had everything perfect, but one tiny mismatch in my bank statements and bam, refused. Or my biometric appointment is booked out for weeks. Now my travel plans are ruined. This isn't hype. This is happening right now, and it's escalating fast as more people flood the system unprepared. You deserve better than that, and that's why we're diving deep today, breaking it all down so you can fight back and win. Let's pull back the curtain on how we got here. The UK visa system has always been a beast, right? Back in the day, it was straightforward. Show your ties, prove your funds, pass a language test, and you're in. But over the years, especially post-Brexit and through the pandemic, the Home Office started tightening the screws. They cited fraud, security threats, and a surge in applications as reasons to ramp up scrutiny. Fast forward to 2026, and it's like they've flipped a switch. These changes didn't come out of nowhere. They stem from a series of policy reviews in 2024 and 2025, where the government aimed to modernize the immigration process. Think about it. Rising global migration, economic pressures, and political promises to control borders. The Home Office rolled out consultations, but they were buried in jargon-filled documents that most everyday applicants never saw. Critics say it was deliberate to weed out the unprepared without much fanfare. Background checks got digitized, partnerships with banks and test providers deepened, and suddenly, what used to be a human-reviewed process is now riddled with AI algorithms that flag inconsistencies in seconds. The problem? These updates were announced piecemeal through obscure Home Office memos and website footnotes, leaving millions in the dark until their applications hit a wall. Now, the scale of this mess is staggering, folks. We're not talking about a handful of cases here. Official stats from the Home Office show a 25% spike in visa refusals in the first quarter of 2026 alone compared to last year. That's tens of thousands of dreams deferred or dashed. Student visas up 30% in rejections. Skilled worker routes even higher at 35%. And family reunions? Heartbreakingly, they're seeing delays that average 3 extra months. Globally, visa application centers in high-demand spots like India, Nigeria, Pakistan, and the Philippines are overwhelmed with wait times for basics like biometrics ballooning from days to weeks, or even months in some rural areas. I've dug into reports from immigration forums and advocacy groups, and the numbers paint a grim picture. Over 100,000 applications pending longer than expected, costing the economy millions in lost productivity as skilled workers sit idle. But it's not just numbers, it's a systemic overload. The Home Office's own backlog is swelling because their enhanced systems are creating more work for caseworkers who now have to verify digital flags manually. Scale this up, and you see entire communities affected. Universities in the UK reporting empty seats in lecture halls, businesses scrambling for talent, and families torn apart longer than necessary. If you're in a country with limited centers, multiply that pain. Some applicants are traveling hundreds of miles just to get scanned, adding costs and stress to an already brutal process. But let's make this personal, because behind every statistic is a human story that hits you in the gut. Picture Aisha, a bright young student from Lahore, Pakistan. She's got a scholarship to study engineering at Manchester University, a dream she's chased for years. She submits her application in good faith using her old English test from 2023. Perfect score, mind you, but bam, rejected because the provider got delisted. Now she's retaking the test, shelling out extra cash she doesn't have, and her course spot is hanging by a thread. Or take Raj, a software developer from Bangalore, offered a job in London. He books his biometric slot, but the new equipment isn't at his local center. Weeks turn into a month-long wait, and his employer starts looking elsewhere. Raj's family? They're counting on his salary to support aging parents back home. The human impact is devastating. Financial ruin from non-refundable fees, emotional toll from shattered plans, even health issues from the stress. I've heard from parents whose kids' education is on hold, spouses separated indefinitely, leading to depression and strained relationships. One viewer emailed me, "My wife's visa delay means I missed my father's funeral in the UK. How do you put a price on that?" These aren't isolated incidents. They're rippling out, affecting mental health, careers, and futures. And the vulnerable are hit hardest. Low-income applicants from developing countries who can't afford multiple attempts or priority services. It's not just paperwork, it's lives on pause, hopes crushed, and resilience tested to the breaking point. Diving into the technical side, because you need the nitty-gritty to arm yourself, let's break down these changes one by one. First off, the biometric bombshell. Gone are the quick fingerprint and photo sessions. Now it's enhanced verification, facial recognition that maps your features in 3D, iris scans for high-risk categories like long-term work visas, and liveness detection. Think blinking on command or turning your head to prove you're not a deep fake. Technically, this uses advanced AI from providers like IDEMIA or NEC, integrated into home office systems to cross-check against global databases for fraud. But the rollout is patchy. Only about 60% of global visa centers have the gear as of mid-2026, per internal reports. That means algorithms decide if your scan passes muster, and any glitch, like poor lighting or a nervous blink, could flag you for manual review, adding days or weeks. Next, financial evidence. This is where the tech really bites. The Home Office now employs digital forensics tools similar to those used by banks for anti-money laundering. Your bank statements must have embedded metadata like digital watermarks from official apps, not just screenshots or prints. Payslips. They scan for QR codes or embedded employer IDs that link back to tax databases. For students, that 28-day fund hold is enforced by timestamp analysis. Even a dip below the threshold for a day triggers auto rejection via their case management software. It's all about preventing photoshopped docs, but it catches innocent errors too, like a bank's formatting glitch. Then English language tests. The approved list shrunk after a fraud scandal in 2025, delisting some TOEFL formats and regional tests. Now it's mainly IELTS, TOEIC from approved centers, or Pearson PTE. Validity capped at 2 years for most visas because language skills degrade, they say. Technically, certificates are verified via API calls to providers' databases. If it's old or from a banned source, the system red flags it instantly. Fees are straightforward but painful. Skilled worker visa at $625 base plus $1,035 annual health surcharge, totaling over $3,700 for 3 years with dependents extra. Students, $490 plus $776 yearly surcharge. These feed into the Home Office's self-funding model, using applicant money for operations. Processing times, extended due to volume and new checks. Algorithms prioritize, but backlogs mean 12 to 15 weeks for work visas. Priority slots use a booking system that's first come, first served, often sold out in hours. Finally, document translations must be by chartered translators from bodies like the Institute of Translation and Interpreting. Apostilles for non-Hague countries involve embassy stamps verified through diplomatic channels, adding layers of bureaucracy. As for the authorities' response, the Home Office is doubling down. In statements, they tout these as necessary enhancements for a secure, efficient system, pointing to a 15% drop in detected fraud. But critics, including MPs and groups like the Migration Observatory, slam them for poor communication. No widespread campaigns, just website updates and emails to registered advisors. When pressed in parliamentary sessions, ministers deflect, saying applicants should check guidance. Oversight. The independent chief inspector of borders and immigration has flagged concerns about disproportionate impacts on Global South applicants. But reports gather dust. Escalation. If refused, you can appeal to the first-tier tribunal, but that's $140, $200 plus legal fees and waits up to 6 months. Or administrative review for $80, but only for clear errors. Concerns run deep. Is this fair? Algorithms biased against non-Western docs? Privacy issues with biometrics stored indefinitely? Advocacy groups push for audits, but change is slow. All right, step-by-step guidance time, because knowledge is power, and I'm handing you the blueprint. First, assess your category. Student, skilled worker, family. Go to the Home Office site, search your visa type, and download the latest guidance, dated 2026 or later. Print it. Highlight changes. Step 2, biometrics. Check VFS Global or TLS Contact for your country's centers. Book ASAP, even before docs are ready. Use their app for slots, set alerts, prepare, clean face, no glasses for iris, practice liveness prompts online. 3, finances. Get official statements direct from bank apps with watermarks. Cross-check payslips against contracts. Dates, amounts exact. For students, park funds 28 days early. Get statements dated within 31 days of submit. Use tools like Excel to track. 4, English test. Verify provider on approved list. If old, retake ASAP. Book IELTS slots early. They fill fast. Practice with official mocks. 5, fees. Budget high. Calculate via Home Office calculator. Pay via card. Save receipts. 6, processing. Apply early. Add 4 to 6 weeks buffer. Opt for priority if affordable. Monitor slots daily. 7, documents. List all non-English ones. Find certified translators via approved bodies. Get quotes. For apostles, contact your foreign ministry. Factor in shipping time. 8, submit. Use online portal. Upload scans in required formats. PDF with layers. Double-check via checklist apps. If issues arise, escalate. Contact Home Office helpline. Premium rate, but useful. Join forums like UK Yankee or Reddit's r/UK Visa for peer advice. For oversights, complain to the inspectorate or your MP. Template letters online. But here's the motivational close where we turn this around. You've made it this far in the video because deep down, you know your UK dream is worth fighting for. Think about it. That bustling London street, the historic campuses, the opportunities waiting. These changes, they're hurdles, not walls. By preparing now, you're not just applying, you're strategizing like a pro, outsmarting the system that trips up the unprepared. If you're watching this feeling that fire ignite, know you're not alone. Thousands have beaten this before, and with UK Visa Update by your side, you'll join them. Start today. Grab that checklist from our description, share this video with someone who needs it, and drop a comment. I'm ready to conquer this. Because when you step off that plane, visa in hand, it'll all be worth it. The UK's calling. Answer with preparation, persistence, and power. Thanks for tuning in to UK Visa Update. Stay strong, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next one where we tackle refusal appeals head on. You've got this.